Over me, 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 over me. It's your girl, Nzinga Namsataiwa Tayehemba. We are here with you to welcome you to a new moon letter. This is for Monday, February 20th, 2023. Here we'll share recipes, photos, soaks, and in this letter, an audio entry from Senke Brath on El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, marking, I'm not sure what year of this his passing, his transition, but kind of marking that energy because that is around this time of month here in February. So yeah, we're wishing you a happy new moon. We have a few different things to share here. I think some of the things that are staying, are like at least consistent, are the other recipes. So that's a good one. And then signing up for soaks, of course. But I'm gonna go through it. Just kind of wanted to make it lighter, and also just let's see, doing a couple things at the same time. A little lighter. So the title of the subject to this email is Breathe In. The breath of life is the lightest thing we have. So lighten up. And that was overheard at a workshop or at something I was at recently, and I forgot to cite the person who shared that. So my bad on that. Yeah. I think that's all entry points. You can find this letter, like the full piece of it, on twin.cafe. That's twin.cafe, TWIN.cafe. Just look for the latest entry. So any links, any opportunities to share, you'll find right there within the online, on the website. So yes. And yes, so I'm breaking occasionally. I actually don't think I'm going to do that because at first I was going to have like these transitions, but I wonder if it's just like better to, you know what? I'm recording this and also doing this on video at the same time. So there's some stuff that I want to make note of. So I'm using iMovie, and the tricky thing sometimes is just how you attach the audio to whatever image or video. And so instead of using the application, I'm just using my phone, and so I'm just trying to like match up the the kind of the sound clips a little bit. So we'll just have to play around with that. Um but yes, this book, Please Sit Over There. I was in Barnes and Nobles looking for, like, honestly, I needed some resources for my job. It's funny because in this book, Please Sit Over There by Francine Parham, they recommend, the author recommends having like January check-ins with career folks, so people you aspire to either be like, or you like the type of work that they do, the communities that they work in. So having these like annual January check-ins, I had a sense, was mostly for people within an organization that you might be a part of, or work that you might be a part of. All that to say, I was looking for books. I was like, oh, I gravitate to books, and it was funny just listening to the audiobook, which I searched for on an app. I was like, yeah, actually have a conversation. There's a lot of reference that I can find in books, but having conversations can be equally as valuable, if not more. Which leads me to this next book, which was recommended. I haven't read it. Subtle Art of Not Giving a Fuck by Mark Manson. Excuse my French. I should have just not, I didn't have to use the expletive in Zynga. But all that to say, it looks like a good one, so something to check out if it's like something you'd like to take a peek at. And then this last book we bumped into my friend Danielle and I at the community bookstore in New Orleans on Bayou Road. So this was out on the table, it caught my eye. I think we both were interested in it, and it's if you're interested in herbal solutions, gut health, just an array of things from the appearance of the book. So please check that out. And yeah, I do want to read that. So the recipe, I'm trying to take a breath at the same time. I'm actually gonna get up for a second, grab some water. I've been drinking this parsley, and it actually has garlic in it, not gonna lie. Garlic, when it's blended, it's not as strong as when we eat it regularly. Right, John? It's not garlic is not very strong. See, it's not very strong. This is spoken like someone who has not drank. Oh crap. Okay, so let me get back to this. So yeah, so this recipe is a great one. It's delicious. Black eyed peas curry. I kind of slipped on making my New Year's black eyed peas, but I said, okay, as long as I get it in before winter, the winter's over, I'm, still in the good luck window, when that's up for debate. But it has mustard seeds in it, cilantro. It actually calls for curry leaves. If you know what curry leaves are or where I can find them, let me know where you find your curry leaves, because I was like, curry leaves? I know that's like, I'm thinking Trini, of course, like a Trinidadian or South Indian type of thing. And so, but yeah, it was really delicious. Ginger, garlic. I sometimes, like, if I have an Indian dish or South Indian dish, I'll have it with a little bit of yogurt, usually sweetened yogurt. I think most people will have it with plain yogurt, but I like it. It's kind of a nice kind of balance or counterbalance to the savoriness of the curry. And you also can have that with rice. So check that out. It's relatively simple. I think you could make everything in a great big pot. So that was really yummy. This picture, as beautiful as it is not something that this is not a picture of mine. I actually ate all the soup before I got to take a picture. So moving forward, we got some photos. We went out to a cafe or sushi spot down on 3rd Street. Pretty yummy. And that was good. And then there's me kind of smiling or posing, looking into the distance. So I think that's it. Like, I mean, that's kind of based. No, it's not it. Excuse me. It's not it. Sign up for a soak. We have some upcoming soaks coming up. We're kind of gathering our list again. So gathering our list. Sign up for this list if you're interested in soaking or finding more about it, connecting with folk. We already have a pretty good list on that, but if you are interested, please sign up. We'd love to have you at an upcoming soak. And I'm going to pause right now, and we're going to hear from Senke Brath, who is going to be sharing a reflection on El Hajj Malik El Shabazz, otherwise known as Malcolm X. So please, take a moment to rest or to listen to that, and we'll get right back into this. So let me just cue that up.
This is Senke Brath, and I'm sharing my thoughts on El Hajj Malik Shabazz, affectionately known as Malcolm X. Malcolm X was known as our black shining prince, as Ossie Davis called him in the eulogy. He evolved to become a monumental figure in the most honest and humble of ways. When he first comes to the community, he was a troublemaker. He was Detroit Red. But he evolved from that to become someone who was a community leader, a religious leader, a political leader, a humanitarian. And he traveled the globe. He changed the way people thought about African Americans. He changed the way people thought about each other. He was once primarily identified with his religious organization and his religion, and identified via the Nation of Islam. But he transcended the idea that he was the property of an organization and became viewed as a man who was the property of all people of African descent worldwide. His integrity was unquestioned. And some might say that's because he only lived to be 39. And the flaws that sometimes our leaders show take decades. But I don't think so. Because the flaws that he had, he openly exhibited. He never came to the community or to people who knew him as someone beyond reproach. He was simply a man evolving the best way he could. To this day, we are still mimicking him, taking notes from his speeches, learning from him. Although he's been dead nearly 60 years, he left us in 1965. And the lessons from his presence in that short time are still with us, still being talked about, still being analyzed, still being rewritten. What he did has stood the test of time. It has aged well. As a resident of Harlem, Harlem was transformed and grateful for his presence. When he came on the scene here, his interaction with black nationalist community and the street speakers, his relationships with heads of state, political leaders. Malcolm X did this while never attending in a university in the United States, which is thought to be the creme de la creme for people who are educated. But no one will tell you Malcolm X was not educated. The pride, the honesty, the intellectual prowess that he exhibited was something that honorary doctorates are handed out for all the time. But Malcolm did not define himself by that. He defined himself by his relationship to a Pan-African worldview. He stood up for himself. He stood up for our community. He made sure he stood up for black women. He made sure he let black men know that our women are the most unprotected group on the planet. By even saying this, he emboldened black men who realized the truth of this. In a way, shaming through truth while not intentional. Malcolm X doesn't just belong to Harlem. Malcolm X belongs to the Pan-African world. His example is still being felt, and we will never forget him. No matter where we arrive to, Malcolm X will always be an African
So, giving thanks to Senke for sending that in. Deeply appreciated. If you have an entry that you like to share, something that has stood out for you, something that a revelation, anything, within reason, please do share with us. You can reach out to us at twin.cafe. And that's like if you go to the link to that link, twin www.twin.cafe, go to the latest entry and then either respond with a community voice note. So let us know what's working for you. What do you not like about today's letter? What's missing? Let us know your check-in. What's capturing your attention? And that's about it. This is a completely community supported newsletter highlighting the arts of poetry, gathering, and media. The best ways to support, as we've shared before, are subscribing, sharing this letter, sharing this video with friends and family, and by becoming a twin to or over me. You can find out more of that, more about becoming a twin rather, at twin.cafe. And we are out of this building. Give thanks, peace. Oh, shout out to Brother Antoine Roney for the musical clips, which I think appear here. There are a few. It's actually one song, Forward Motion by Antoine Roney. So, giving thanks. And with that, we'll say peace. Or over me. Or over me. Or over me. Or